Among apex predators, they're the pinnacle. Resilient, agile, smart, and their mental prowess only increases with age. Some can even dominate the minds of weaker species, keeping them as pets, livestock, or toys. They're creatures without peer.
Starfield is a universe without sentient aliens. The game has a ton of alien wildlife, but no intelligent alien civilizations. Most of us who love Starfield also love this realistic take on the human experience as space explorers. Intelligent alien civilizations simply aren't a part of Starfield's lore. However, what is very much a part of Starfield's lore is the countless evil studies done in the name of science, conducted on both fauna and human subjects. The player's first experience with this is on the planet Crete. On Crete lies the shattered remains of a once secret science facility. It was here, in sterile labs and hidden chambers, that humanity's ambitions crossed into darkness. Originally built for genetic experimentation, the Crete Science Laboratory was tasked with manipulating alien DNA. Researchers sought to weaponize biology itself to create controllable life forms capable of surviving in any environment. But their crowning achievement was no controlled specimen. It was the Terramorph, a monstrosity born from reckless experimentation, blending resilience, predatory instinct, and aggression into something unstoppable. The Terramorphs were not merely test subjects. They were an infection, an apex predator that could never be contained. When the lab shut down, it wasn't due to any human decision. It was due to a mass slaughter. Today, all that remains on Crete are ruins, scattered logs, and the echoes of human arrogance. The laboratory is shut down, but its creations still roam the Starfield universe. So far in the Starfield storyline, we seem to have the Terramorph situation somewhat under control. But with such an intelligent creature, their ability to plot and plan is undeniable. Terramorphs aren't raging mad predators ready to pounce at the first opportunity. The intelligence of the Terramorphs makes them more terrifying than simple beasts. They're apex predators that can adapt in new environments, study their prey, and adjust tactics in real time. In other words, humanity didn't just unleash a monster, it could have potentially unleashed a rival with the ability to take over the minds of creatures and human beings.
They put you through that mind control resistance test? Any brains come running out your ears?
No, suppose I got lucky.
So, what did happen?
It was actually kind of scary. My vision kind of narrowed. Saw these eyes following me in the sky. I knew it was fake, but it felt so real.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm a little surprised they let you join.
Me too. Guess they're desperate for staff.
With these talents and abilities, is it unthinkable that such creatures could create their own civilization? To consider this question more closely, let's take a look at one of sci-fi's most respected novels, Children of Time, written by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The story begins with Dr. Avrana Kern, who oversees a grand experiment to uplift monkeys on a terraformed planet using an evolutionary nanovirus. A sabotage attempt aboard the spacecraft she was traveling destroyed the monkeys, but the virus survived. Instead of primates, the nanovirus infects a breed of spiders, laying the foundation for their accelerated evolution. Kern survives as what appears to be a digitized presence within the orbiting satellite, convinced she's a godlike custodian of what she sees as her world. I won't get too deep into the story, but it's very similar to Starfield's story. Things go to shit on Earth, causing mankind to seek refuge in outer space. In the book's universe, cryosleep technology is frequently used to travel thousands of light years. As expected, There are a number of moments when human beings are awakened to take care of various tasks and address certain issues, only to have to go back into cryosleep once again. During the thousands of years of cryosleep, the spiders on Kern's planets are evolving high levels of intelligence and capabilities. The nanovirus boosts the spiders' intelligence rapidly across generations. During their evolution, the spiders first become pioneers in hunting tactics and primitive cooperation with each other. The spiders even began to develop a culture where at first the males are considered expendable and ignorant. The spiders at some point during the book began to invent tools, communication, structured communities, and even weapons. The thing that I found to be most fascinating about the book was, I thought that the book was going to be very predictable. I thought that the spiders were going to end up changing physically as well, but they didn't. Though they were larger than the typical spider here on planet Earth, they stayed relatively small. But the way that they were able to compete with larger species such as human beings was because of their increasing knowledge and technology. They actually became sort of like geniuses in technology and invention. Now, as we know, the pteramorphs, of course, would have an advantage over these spiders because the pteramorphs, first of all, are larger. Second of all, they have the ability to control the minds of fauna and human beings. So they could get anybody to work for them, be their slave, their servant, whatever. They can build an army of human beings, and just simply by taking over their minds. If they wanted to have someone to study science and build things for them or invent things for them, they could take over a whole ship. They could take over a whole science ship filled with scientists and researchers if they wanted to. So they have that over these spiders. Yet the story of these spiders is kind of fascinating. Now we're going to get into how they made up for their size, how they were able to compete with larger species than themselves, how they were able to get to the point where they could do things like fight in battles against human beings and even fly spacecrafts. So let's get into that and check it out. This is very interesting. Now keep in mind, the pteramorphs, except for a certain part of it, won't have to go through all of these struggles because the pteramorphs are already ahead. They're already intelligent. The research that gave them their intelligence has already been done on planet Crete. So that part of it is over for them. Those spiders on Kern's terraformed planet are at the top of the social structure among insects. The ants weren't completely left out when it comes to the effects of the nanovirus. At one point in the book, you could easily consider them deadly pets of the spiders. Imagine military or police dogs, only much, much more dangerous. In the real world, here on planet Earth, many ant species already defend themselves with formic acid. Under the nanovirus in the book, this natural weapon mutated into something much more intense and much more deadly. Though the spiders on Kern's planet are much larger and deadlier than any insects on planet Earth, it isn't the spiders' physical abilities that makes them such a formidable threat. Like human beings, it's their knowledge and technology that allows them to create tools and machinery that enables them to manipulate the world around them, and more importantly, to protect themselves. The more I read about the incredible evolution and achievements of these creatures, the more I thought to myself, anything this intelligent alien society of spiders could do, the pteramorphs could do it 1,000 times faster and better. This is especially true with the pteramorphs' ability to control the minds of human beings, which could actually be the equivalent of what the ants are to the spiders, slaves or indentured servants. The Portia spiders are based on the jumping spider, which are small but incredibly intelligent hunters. As they evolve, they become larger, more physically robust, and their features grow more specialized for communications and tool use. Their bodies are described as furry and multi-eyed, capable of nuanced visual perception. They're equipped with dexterous forelimbs that allow for intricate web weaving, tool manipulation, and even gestures akin to human hand signals. Color-changing patches on their bodies used for communications and expressions, almost like facial cues in humans. Even as they grow to intelligent civilization building scale, Tchaikovsky keeps their movements creeping, sudden, and predatory, reminding the reader that though they're sentient, they are not humanoid. This perfectly describes the pteramorphs in terms of intelligence and physical structure. But with a team of brilliant indentured scientists under their control, the Terramorphs could easily evolve physically into a completely different looking sentient creature. The Starfield universe has no shortage of mad scientists. The cornerstone of current spiders is their webbing capabilities. Even in real life, considering weight to strength ratio, a spider's web is said to be stronger than steel when it comes to tensile strength, which measures the amount of stress a material is able to withstand before breaking. But when it comes to building things, webbing isn't as dense or hard as steel, making it less durable. For current spiders, this is where the nanovirus makes the difference. The Portia spiders have the ability to weave different types of webbing that serve different purposes, and they do this at will. The nanovirus allows the spider's silk glands to regulate protein sequences during spinning, effectively programming the silk on the fly. They can produce threads that were elastic and energy absorbing, rigid and crystalline for structures and armor, and adhesives or non-stick depending on the chemical cues. But as amazing as all of this is, if the Terramorphs somehow ended up on Kern's planet, they could easily take control of the entire spider kingdom. Alright guys, so we're going to leave it right there. If you've made it this far, thank you for viewing the video, and don't forget to like, share if you have time, and subscribe if you haven't already. As I've discussed in my post, we're also going to be taking a look at this book and many other science fiction books. But tell me what you think. I mean, I think that it would be okay to have aliens in the Starfield universe as long as you could somehow tie it into the actual Starfield lore. And I think that the Terramorphs is a perfect way to do that if they want to go down that road. I'm not necessarily hungry for that, but I think if they were to do that, I think it's really important that they consider the lore of Starfield. Anyway guys, until next time, stay safe.
Open fire! I'm coming for you.